Welcome to the Average Adventuring Party, where we forgot which one we last used, so this is our damn intro now.
Welcome to the Average Adventuring Party, where
the DM used all his brain power to make the food.
Welcome to the who? And what are we doing again?
No,
it's been a while.
I think this is most appropriate.
welcome to the Average Adventuring Party. Let the bardies hit the floor.
Oh, like that's not going to happen. No. Welcome to the Average Adventuring Party podcast, where being the GM means never having to say you're sorry. I won't. Not even once. Not even if I killed all of your parents.
Or Shannara.
Well, she's already dead, so no worries there.
And now we're right back where we left off at, where we're getting murder glares from the wings.
Right, I may stab your boyfriend here.
I mean,
Just warn you.
We are now hiring a new GM.
I've had worse and liked it. You're kidding me? I work in the corporate world. It's only sweet release from this point on. So, yeah.
oh, that means I get all his board games. Go ahead.
We're not on that again.
I didn't say I'd kill him, I said I'd stab him.
Oh,
There's a difference there.
Okay.
Unfortunately for you.
Just want you to scare him a little bit.
Hey, it's scary.
I don't want to kill you. I just want to carve a little Z into your forehead. So, it's been a month.
Huh? Really? Because whenever this releases, it'll only have been a week.
Or less.
Hooray for time shenanigans in the real world, too. No, this is our first game back after the Christmas and New Year's break. So I'll take the recap, since any number of times today I heard Ray go, I don't even remember where we left off.
Mouse stuff. Lots of drooly mouse stuff.
Man.
Right?
And I'm
Yeah.
sure I wanted to murder somebody. So.
I mean,
Yeah.
there you go. You
But-
got the high and the low points.
Everything was well lubricated last time.
Yes.
Wolf Swift was doing mouth stuff to the entire party.
And
And herself.
herself, really, yeah.
She's
Yeah.
talented.
So, you guys fell for the classic blunder of engaging in a land war in Asia, and also allowing yourself to be tricked further and deeper into the forest city of Bulib.
The joke's on you. That is our motto. Further and deeper into believe.
That's the Bulibian Rangers. So
We go deeper so you don't have to.
you go deeper so that we go deeper so you can go deeper so we can go deeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to go deeper.
So Martiana lured you guys into the city.
Mm-hmm.
The city was seemingly deserted except for a not insignificant number of Martiana copies.
Or Wolf Swift copies, I think.
Both.
No,
Both.
they were-
Oh, yeah.
No, I said what I said.
Yeah.
That's right.
We kept stabbing kobolds.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
you kept stabbing kobolds that were trapped in the walls and hung up in various places.
I pretended to be Martiana.
Or Shannara.
Yeah, you found out that there were some weird, monstrous, drooly copies of Wolf Swift hanging about. You got rescued by Nettles
Poor Nettles.
Got it.
and one of his druid companions, who both got et by the monsters, getting you into the room of the ancients, the verdant grove, as it were. And that's kind of where we had left off, was you guys getting to see the ancients yourself. There was one made of stone who was pulling himself up into this massive hulking form out of all the rocks, and one that was made of water forming out of a waterfall, one that was made of fire that had formed from this gigantic bonfire on the horizon. And up in the sky there was all this lightning and storm, and in the clouds you could see a gigantic face up there. So yeah, that's where we'll pick up. If you recall, there were probably about 2,000 or 3,000 plant people in this room. All of them looked worse for wear, and Nettles had said that the majority of the city was killed in less than a day, and he had spent the rest of the afternoon, up until the time you guys arrived, pulling survivors in through the walls into this chamber. And this is about all he had found. Like they were on the verge of giving up when they heard someone who shall remain nameless playing a lute, and screaming.
I'm
Yep.
sorry, I can't help myself. Oh wait.
You've kind of been under scrutiny by these massive elemental figures
Mhm.
who are really just sort of eyeballing you. The one that is made out of water, its waterfall has stopped flowing down and has started flowing up into the air and kind of like wraps around this gigantic room and has formed a huge watery neck that has a face on it that sort of regards all of you guys. It has, it like turns its face towards you and one eye just sort of bulges out as it regards you. It says, so, what's the plan then? You let nettles get captured.
I tried to pull him back in.
Yes, well, that's unfortunate. It happens, though. He knew the risks.
We are exhausted. We are spent. We cannot fight in this state. Is this room at least secure enough for the time being?
The watery figure kind of bends its head back towards the others, who nod at it. It's spellbound. They would have to completely destroy it for them to gain access to it. It is technically an otherworldly pocket dimension.
Well, I say never make a plan when you're exhausted.
I suppose. If you really must sleep, go ahead. But given the rate of change over the last day, I would say it's probably not long before they could destroy this place. Maybe another day.
Well, we only need a few hours. We have been, what is it now? 2 days? 3 days without sleep? I kind of forget because, we jump time and then jump back into time and then we got kobolded and then we ran and I don't know. It's been a long day-ish.
Oh, well, if you must. And, it just looks away from you and over towards one of the walls that has some very comfy-looking pine trees growing out of it that starts shaking and, just a thick pile of needles forms itself.
Right.
Let's rest. As Iocus heads that way, though, he's going to start checking on the various plant people and just various people, actually, and just checking on them, offering words of sympathy. Like, it's a disaster zone here, I am certain. So.
Oh, yeah. From what Galdrien remembers, and Ardith too, your previous time here, I believe was the most populated city in the Caldera, and it actually housed probably close to 100,000 people. The city is miles and miles across. And there's, like I said, maybe 2,000 or 3,000. So it has been utterly decimated. Iocus can see pretty much everyone is wounded in some way. There are a lot of acid burns on things. And there are a lot of what you would consider wild animal style wounds. So bites, claws, a lot of missing appendages, that kind of thing. But you eventually do get over to where those needles are. This whole room is maybe 2,000 feet across. It's just a giant, basically a dome. Up in the sky, there is what you would guess to be mid to late afternoon sky. So you can see the cloud and the sun and stars and things like that. It's not the same sky as the Caldera.
Yeah.
I guess before he goes to sleep, Galdrien would take a look around and seeing that there's wounded, see if there's anyone that he can at least assist with before he turns in. No, it's Kajani, so he doesn't. Not really his specialty, but
It looks like most of these people have already received first aid of some kind.
Okay.
So they have salves and bandages and things like that for their wounds. Some of them are particularly lethal-looking wounds. There's really not a lot you could do for them without actually taking them to surgery or using magic on them.
Let's see. Yeah. All of my healing comes from battle cries, so I don't think that's gonna work.
Quick, punch me in the face. What? If you want to feel better, punch me in the face.
Why'd you kick me in the nuts? That's not what I meant.
The surgery might be
I got knives. She's got knives.
yeah.
I mean, you would have to
Cut
have
people.
an actual suite of medical equipment.
I think they need someone with some skill
Oh.
with doing things after the cutting.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've cut them open. Now what?
So Galdrien's going to go ahead and settle into the needles and turn to Ardith and say, everything is worse now.
Yep.
Sure, we haven't caused the stars to fall out of the sky, but everything is worse. This entire place. How many people are going to die before we get out of here?
The weight of thousands, though, versus billions. So while this hits harder than where y'all came from, it's ultimately a price that's not as heavy. It just weighs heavier on each of you.
And then Shannara. I can't believe that bitch has Shannara. I promise you, Ardith, I will do and give anything to get your sister back.
It's my job to keep her safe. I'm supposed to be her wall. If we see Bastia and your friend again, I'm stabbing both of them.
Don't think that's going to happen.
It'll make me feel better for 2 seconds.
Let's go ahead and rest. Tomorrow, we need to discuss with the elders what we're going to do.
Is there grass and trees?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this place looks like it could come directly out of your forest. Just
I was gonna say, Suna's rubbing around, rolling, climbing the trees, falls asleep, hugging a tree or something.
Suna, a tree hugger.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, you do, and actually, you guys can go ahead and regain your hit points, recoveries, daily spells, encounter spells, all that fun stuff. Any contemplation benefits you have, Suna, are gone.
yeah, I took it off.
We'll say the four of you actually awaken to. Basically, you think it's thunder at first. It kind of has that low rumble until you realize that it is smashing rocks. And you just hear this gigantic booming voice go, "What is the meaning of this?" And then some more crashes, and you hear a very familiar voice go, "Well, I didn't mean to intrude. I just happened to intrude. It's not my fault." And when you look down, standing in front of this gigantic earth being is a woman with golden skin, bronze skin, hair. You recognize Random. She's standing there. She's got effectively like a shank of lamb in her hand, and is kind of just like waving it lazily in his direction while taking bites. And she goes, "I came with them," and she points back to you guys. And it's not my fault. I don't particularly have control over the journey that I'm on. And when she looks back and sees you, she just waves her lamb shank at you.
I can't tell. Have we had enough sleep or not enough?
I'll wave back. No, not enough.
Is that your girlfriend?
I don't know.
You waved at her?
At which point there is actual literal thunder as the skies light up. And
She's with us.
and just turns this. The skies go from sort of early morning blues and oranges just into black as all these clouds pile up and starts lightning, throwing lightning everywhere. And just from the heavens, a voice goes, "She's with you. You dare bring a dragon into our sanctum?"
What now?
At which point, Random just kind of looks back at you, waves again.
That would explain a lot.
I'll have a question on my face while I wave back. Like,
I'm pretty sure like the entire party just whipped their heads at you and then went back.
Everyone stops and looks at you.
why are y'all looking at me? I have no fucking idea.
Choose your friend first.
I don't even remember her.
Wait,
I mean, you somewhat do. You waved.
Well, yeah, you wave at people.
I was gonna say, you remember all of your conversations you've had with her.
Oh, okay, that's right.
now that she's in your field of view.
yeah.
No, that's right.
Iocus reflexively says, "I don't even remember." Wait. And the rest of you do as well. The one time you met her.
Yeah.
She says, to be fair, he didn't know. I was just tagging along.
Wait. That makes a lot of sense now, actually.
Oh, we don't do that.
No?
Don't try to make sense of it.
I have a question. Oh, great guardian. What's the problem with bringing a dragon here?
It's just basically, 2,000 people stand up and look at you. Everyone kind of shuffles off to the sides, away from you and away from her. And one of we'll say it's the one in the sky, one of the elementals, just booms down. It says, "They're creatures of destruction at worst, and they cause complications at best."
Complications, maybe, but she's a good dragon.
There's no
Maybe,
such
like, that
thing.
describes us.
Is a dragon.
At which point, Random turns around and says, "No, we don't put labels on things. I don't like that."
She is.
That's actually fairly accurate. I am.
She's been helping us against the others.
I don't know if help is...
No. That is not what I am doing.
No?
No. I am.
Assisting?
No, I am not doing that either. I am merely checking on your progress, which is not assisting you in any way.
No.
You have always had any items that you may think you have gotten from me. I didn't bring those to you.
Wait.
I think she's saying she'd get in trouble if she was helping anyone. So she's clearly not helping anyone.
Well,
She's
she's-
just checking on us, right? Am I...
Babysitting us?
Wait.
No,
Galdrien's
absolutely
thinking to
not.
himself, like, wait, did she actually help us? It's like, no, wait. No, wait. Did she? No, wait. Why do I feel like she has?
No. I'm sorry if you misconstrued it that way. I'm just an observer, really. And she, turns back to the elementals and says, "I didn't mean to interpose myself in here, actually. This whole thing was just too exciting for me to not check on. So I thought I had best... Well, not best. I thought it would be interesting for me to observe, and I actually didn't know that you could see me." And one of them says, "Oh, so you sneak around like a thief?" She says, No, just normally I'm not visible. So this came as much of a surprise to me as it does to you, I'm sure."
Well, if you let us talk to her, she usually goes on her way pretty quick. We'll wrap this up, and then she can leave, and no more dragon, right?
No, she will still be in our sanctum.
Oh.
At which point, you have 4 angry elementals looking at you. And Random says, "Well, I'm still going to talk to them. As she gestures to the group. Says, I'm actually fairly certain there's nothing you can do about my presence here.
No, we don't label that. We're guests here, and we're not in a measuring contest of any sorts. We really needed the rest. They were very helpful.
Oh, no,
Please,
it's
please
not.
be kind.
It's not that. It's actually I don't think they could do anything to me should they choose.
We don't want to find out.
At which point, just this lightning bolt strikes her, and she kind of looks down, looks up at the sky. Oh, that proves it.
While he can't do anything to you, he can definitely do something to me.
I don't.
Looking at the sky.
I don't think it would offer them any benefit, really. And she looks back at them. We'll say there's actually a look of surprise on that water elemental's face. And he just kind of dumbly just nods and says, "We don't want to start anything here, do we?" And kind of shakes his head. "No, that's what I thought. So, I'm sorry for intruding. I actually have a meeting with those folks right over there. Excuse me. And she just kind of makes her way through these groups of plant people up to you. Sorry about that. I couldn't help myself. I needed to get a closer look. And, well, it's an interesting development that they could pierce the magics of my veil.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, you're a dragon.
Technically, yes.
What kind of dragon?
That's racist.
Ooh.
Well, that's fair.
Oh,
But
I was kind of, sort of dragon in a past life.
Oh.
the only reason I ask is, we're doing all this to keep the red dragon from re-emerging, and the kobolds are, tied to the red dragonflight.
Oh, yeah. Nasty creatures.
Yeah, well, that seems a little racist.
Well,
But they are nasty creatures.
let me put it to you this way. You
Mhm.
and you, and she points at Galdrien and Ardith, and even you're naturally created beings. That's fine. But kobolds are not. They're a perversion of draconic magics and necromancy, sorcery, that kind of things. It actually caused quite a headache when Kemet discovered them. So you'll forgive me if I'm a little biased.
Yes. No, absolutely not. But the whole reason I was asking what kind of dragon is, I just want to make sure you're not with Kemet.
Oh, no. Most certainly not.
Oh, okay.
I suppose if you had to put a label on me, how do I want to put this? Are you referring to the color of my scales? Is that what you're looking for?
If that's not offensive, then yes.
Oh, I see. Well, I suppose she points at her face, which has a bronze sheen of makeup on it.
Uh-huh.
She goes, I suppose you could say I fall into the bronze dragon flight.
Okay.
We are watchers.
And then Iocus does a quick mental sum, and there's red that disappeared.
Red that is destroyed.
There's
Black that is destroyed.
White.
White, green, and blue are currently the leaders on the Obsidian Isles.
But nothing about bronze, right?
I mean, you remember stories about metallic dragons.
Yeah. Okay. But is it like something that everybody has heard stories of?
No, these are like foundations of the world time ago. Like, they helped the gods create the world, and then they disappeared.
The Forgotten Draconic Library?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I've heard about bronze dragons, yeah.
Oh, well, see? There you go.
Yeah.
So, you know fundamentally we're not aligned with anyone or anything in particular.
Yeah, mainly yourselves. Like most dragonflight seem to be.
As they really should have.
Yeah.
We served our purpose a long time ago.
Right.
It's just, some of the more uppity, excitable, younger dragons couldn't help but making an impression on the world after it was created, and there you go.
Being one of the younger races, I guess I understand.
Your people have been around for some time.
Oh, but comparatively to
Oh, yes, I see.
you guys.
Oh, yes. Well, I suppose the only... I actually haven't met many people like you, Suna.
Figures.
You mean murder hobos?
Oh, no, I've met quite a few of those.
Oh, okay.
No, just... there are a fair number of your people in the Astral Sea. And some of the divine plantations. Different domains, really. They tend towards certain places. I've never met one personally. I just know that they exist.
I guess you can't say that anymore.
Oh.
Because you met me.
Yes. I have, in fact, met you. And she reaches in. She has, if you recall, sort of like this messenger bag that sits at the small of her back. And she pulls out the bag is maybe, I don't know, 1.5 feet, 2 foot by like a foot. And she reaches in and pulls out this gigantic tome.
I'll hold your lamb chop while you...
Oh, sure. I'm
gonna take a bite.
It is actually still hot. Like sizzling hot. And very, very well spiced.
You say that like she's going to stop her.
Oh, no. I'm just saying, like, she's been waving it around for a while. And it is still as hot as if it came off of the...
And we haven't eaten or slept. I mean, come
you
on.
slept.
Finally.
I mean, finally, yes. But so I'm going to sit there and take
so she pulls out this gigantic tome. And I mean, it's like 4 foot by 3 foot. It could not have fit in that bag. And she flips it open, and there's actually a fairly detailed, like, charcoal sketch of Suna. She goes, see? And she points, and there's a date. See, I met you.
What's the date?
The date is the day that, if you had to count in your head, the day that Iocus ran into your group the first time.
Okay.
And there's actually...
I'm in her book.
Do you have one of me?
And she flips back quite a few pages. Probably about, I don't know, 300 or 400 pages back. And there's a picture of a significantly younger Iocus wandering the desert. And she goes, yes, there.
That was...
You were a baby in that picture.
I know.
No,
I didn't even have a beard.
You're old.
No.
as adorable as he is, I don't want us to distract you.
Oh, right. So how are you doing? And she puts the book back. If you want some, you can just cut it off.
Oh.
Or you can actually, you know what? And she reaches in her bag and pulls out another one that's still steaming.
Ah, thank you.
Yeah. Actually, I'm just gonna set this here. Set it on the ground. So I'm gonna. Oh, what fine and rustic architecture in this obvious pocket dimension. And it just kind of turns her back to it.
Oh, look! I can't believe that we have happened upon this lamb shank here on the ground unattended.
I'm surprised you're not, saying it's too bad it's not ham.
She reaches in her bag and pulls out what looks like a cantaloupe.
Ooh.
And takes a bite out of it, just like rind and all, just hunk. And then she goes, it's a little too ripe for my taste, and she just drops it on the ground.
What's that over there?
Oh,
Have you ever seen...
now we're eating scraps.
Yeah, she turns, it's like, oh, I will certainly have to make a drawing of that thing there. Iocus picks up the melon and starts chewing on it. She turns back around and goes, I seem to have misplaced my food. Oh well.
I am so sorry.
Anyway, how are you doing?
Well, aside from feeling like I'm personally responsible for the deaths of tens of thousands.
Fucking peachy.
No, it happens. Dying, I mean, if it's any consolation to you.
I mean,
So-
you've beat my number.
You were following us through all of that, right?
No, I was following you. There's a difference. A subtle difference, mind you.
We'll put a pin in that. So you were following me through all of that. You had to have seen us trying to rescue the other elf that you met, Shannara.
Oh, yeah.
Multiple times. And
Nice girl.
Yeah. I'm sure you saw through the magics that Mariana was casting, right?
Oh, you mean out in the city?
Yeah.
True sight is amongst some of my abilities.
We think the last one was the actual Shannara. Can you confirm or deny that?
Oh, no. Most certainly I couldn't.
I didn't think you could.
I would say when dealing with an arcane illusionist, perhaps it is best not to believe anything. That's just been my experience.
Good advice. We'll take it on advisement.
So aside from everything that's
utter
happened
defeat
here,
and desperation and despair, yeah,
Sure.
we're doing great.
well, they say something darkest night before the port in the storm. I don't get
Yeah,
I don't get elven idioms.
no evil in our sight. Yeah.
Galdrien, if it's any, like I said, consolation, these people would die eventually anyway. I don't think anything you did was a direct cause of it, more or less. That doesn't appear to be consoling you.
Not terribly, no.
Do you...
I mean,
hold on. Maybe if we looked at this a different way. Do you...
did the city get attacked anyways? Is that why?
Hmm?
I don't know. Before. Was the city just going to get attacked anyways?
For what?
Before we rescued Silent?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean,
Most
is that why these people were going to die?
Most certainly it would have been. Listen, this plan, well, let's just say, let's call it a conspiracy, because who knows?
People are conspiring.
Someone is certainly conspiring, based on what I've seen. And I can't be, I would just like you to know, I can't give you any advice, but I can tell you that based on my previous experience, this is not something, what I've seen, is not something that just gets thrown together. This has been in the making for a long time. I would imagine it would happen whether you were here or not. Not to downplay the cost of lives, and I'm sure these people are most upset and their lives are destroyed, but honestly, the world works in cycles. If it wasn't this, it would be something else. Who knows? This is actually an active volcano still. At some point, it could just erupt.
So see, I'm not a murderer. I just help the life cycles.
About that.
Yeah.
What I was going to say previously
Sounded good.
is, Galdrien, do you worship any particular pantheon?
Not for a long time.
No. Well,
I mean, considering how young I am, that's saying something.
having met a fair few gods myself, killing is more about intent with them, if that makes sense. If you're doing your best and trying to save people
Like me.
and things,
Like me.
we'll get back to that. They tend to take that into account. Don't take this the wrong way. Elves have a fragile ego at times. You're not infallible. You can't possibly know the outcome to every decision you make.
Oh, in fact, Fallible is my middle name. Galdrien. Fallible. I don't know my last name. Right?
It could be fallible, right?
She-
It may not even have to be your middle name.
She goes to pull out her book again and goes, "Is that a joke, or do I need to actually put that on the record?"
It's a joke.
Oh, I see. I'm not. I haven't been to the Sovereignty in some time. The walking gods there are
Full of themselves?
Mean?
unpredictable.
I'm still going with full of themselves.
Listen, there are certain customs that have to be observed when I'm referring to certain deities, and you know how it goes.
Of course.
You can infer whatever meaning you would like. So I'm not up on your people's idioms, as it were. Regardless, I'm also not a spiritual guide in any sense of the word. In fact, I once destroyed an entire civilization because of some threats that they posed. It happens. My point being, I'm trying to. You seem a little down, not your usual zippy self. I just thought I would, try to put things into context for you. You, on the other hand, and she looks at Suna and says, I understand where you draw your power from. So, I'm not judging you, like I said.
But.
I hear the but too.
Mm-hmm.
But
He doesn't need to judge you. Enough people already do.
That's very true.
Well, she did say that the gods counted intent on murder, and you get your power from your god. So your god must be happy with your murder.
See? But not since the forest got set on fire and I wasn't there to protect it.
I'm just saying,
Potato, potato.
it's one thing to defend your homeland, your family, your people, your beliefs. Ever since you found out about the state of your forest, you've been a little eager.
I mean,
Not that I'm judging.
how would you feel if your life's work just went up in flames?
Well, let me put it to you this way. If my life's work went up in flames, I wouldn't be around to see it. So that's I take your meaning. That's kind of an irrelevant question to me.
Seeing as how she's been following me, let's not have her work go up in flames.
Oh,
You're not supposed to be her work. She's observing.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be you.
Okay, I just don't like flames.
no. Well, there's worse things. Speaking of,
I can set you on fire.
how are you holding up, Ardith?
Fucking peachy.
You say that, and yet the expression on your face indicates you're not.
And that makes you smart.
No, I've always said I'm not smart. I'm very clever. I'm very sneaky, but I'm not smart. Well, is it just this whole situation, or other concerns?
My sister's either in... What is that town called?
Overlook.
Overlook. I totally blanked on that. Either in Overlook, in trouble, or making trouble. Or Mariana has her.
No.
What part of this is a great thing?
Greatness comes from adversity. My point being, if she is in a way that you can get to her, maybe it will turn out all right in the end.
I hope so.
Well, guess we just need to figure out what to do with our Onyx friend here, and how we're going to handle Wolfswift.
Oh. Can I see that?
Sure.
She takes the statue and
I don't know how it's going to respond to the whole
It's like, here's the sack with the thing in it.
whole dragon thing.
Oh,
But
no.
I think it's key to only one particular dragon.
We're... How do I want to put it? Without going into the technical details, we're a part of the world while not being a part of the world, it's very technical and particular. And if you have a millennia, I can probably explain the rules to you. And she just like grabs the bag and pulls the statue out.
I'm pretty sure I am not theoretically immortal.
Oh, no, I would know, I think, if anything were to make you immortal. She takes the statue and flips open her book, and there is actually like a wall of basically the same text that's on her face. These big, like scratchy, slashy runes. And she just takes her fingernail and starts dragging and writing. And there is a big spot in the middle of a page where something should clearly be, but is not. And as she's holding up the statue, she's just scratching in the details. And as she does, it kind of burns into the paper. A very, very detailed charcoal likeness.
The spider self artist like peering over like, ooh.
Yeah, if you've ever seen someone do like a charcoal or chalk rubbing of something, that's kind of how she does it, where she just scratches her fingers across it, and this image sort of appears, and it's front, back, and side and bottom, top detail. And then she hands the statue back and goes, "Oh, thank you. I was trying to figure a way out of how to get that out of her pack to look at it while you guys were asleep."
Wow, it's amazing what asking can do.
Listen, this and Lost, this place and Lost are very unique in as much as I am all but certain we're not being observed by anything that matters. So I feel free to make myself known to you here. But it never hurts to be careful. I can't just ask for it.
So many people seem to think that.
No, I know for a fact I can't just ask you, but
you just did.
Unique opportunities, like I said. If there were a way to scry on everything in the world, this place is a dead zone, as far as I can tell. And really, that's just, I suppose, in the grand scheme of things, if I get caught, it's a minor slap on the wrist, as opposed to, I don't know, doing something stupid like feeding you or offering you advice.
Which you clearly would never do.
I would never. No. So let's see, I've already asked how you're doing. How are your plans going?
What plans?
Oh.
And we kind of stumbled from one thing to the next.
So what are you going to stumble into now?
We're going to try to fix this Wolfswith situation, and then we have 3 of the 4 inheritor powers taken, but then that still leaves that one.
Interesting.
And
we just have to find the original Wolf Swift, and not all the copies.
Oh.
I would
we
like.
already got hers, didn't we?
No, we got part of
we
it.
have part of it.
Oh.
I would like to do it without killing her.
Yeah, I saw that. It's a shame interacting with forces that way. She gestures to that statue, and it is still kind of like glowing and sputtering yellow. It says there's a conduit open there, I would think.
Perhaps it could lead us to her.
Maybe.
Or maybe we can tap that conduit, bring it all in from...
I don't know.
There's a big lightning storm that might be able to jumpstart it.
Oh, I wouldn't bring that near them.
Yeah, sure.
They probably recognize it for what it is.
Yeah.
They might not be too happy.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not happy now.
Yeah.
But
that's fair.
she says, well, kind of looks up at the sky and says, well, like always, I'm just checking on you.
You asked about all of us. How are you doing?
Aside from this little slip up, not terrible. You have all been a very entertaining lot, to say the least. And she holds up the book, and there's probably she kind of like finds some pages and says, "This is the start of my assignment with you." And she has probably about 400 pages for Iocus. And
that tracks.
how long has it been since you were in the desert?
Probably about 12 years.
Okay. So 400 pages over 12 years. And then she grabs like another 300 pages and goes, this has been since the Caldera.
Wait, no, it's been longer than 12 years because I was with them whenever they were young. But still, same idea. Like, it's been a good while.
It's been a while?
Yeah.
You got and done it now.
I didn't do
It's been
it.
a while.
I heard the reflex, damn it.
I was waiting.
Yep.
Anyway, so yeah, there's like 400 pages for the 12 or 15 years that's been. And then there's about, I don't know, 3/4 the same just since the Caldera. They're like the 2 weeks you guys have been here.
Mm-hmm.
Been 2 weeks?
While she's messing with the book and everything, can I try to look in the bag?
Dude.
I'm gonna rate her
I
bag
just
of
want to
holding.
look.
What?
Because it held such a big book and it's a little bitty bag. I just kind of want to glance in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
Look like a big hole?
Make a sanity check. You lose everything.
No, you go to like fiddle with the snaps on it, and it just does not come undone. And at a certain point, she just reaches back and like flicks you on the ear.
Hey!
And he goes, "That's rude."
What? But the huge book.
Oh. Yeah. And she just grabs like the corners of the book and shrinks it down, and then it becomes, like a paperback-sized book. And then she grabs the corners and then enlarges it. And it's for detail.
That's cool.
I mean, the bag is enchanted too, but.
Book has its own pinch zone.
Have you ever tried?
You know how much food I could carry in a bag like that?
She puts an arm in behind her back and then brings it back out. And when she does, she just has this gigantic scaled claw. And she goes, "Have you ever tried to read a small book with these? It's not easy." And then she shakes her hand and it goes back to normal.
I mean, I believe it.
Oh. So we tend to design our reading materials to be easy to handle.
So why have you been following me for so long?
Well, it's something to do with a deal you made a long time ago.
See, I'm not the only one.
I don't remember any deals. I swear, I don't remember a single deal.
Let's see. And she kind of like flips all the way back. And she's like, here we go. And she spins the book around and says, "Oh no, what is happening over there with those refugees?" And
refugees.
Yeah, and she's just got like the book in her hand, and if you look over her shoulder, there is a very cool charcoal drawing of Iocus, dehydrated, basically wearing rags, and has long raggedy hair and beard, and he's kind of on his knees, looking up with this shocked expression on his face. And at first, what you think are these rock formations are in fact just a pair of gigantic eyes sticking out of the sand. And, if you were on flat ground, like Iocus standing, these eyes would be more massive than him, just the eyeballs. And they have that sort of signature, slit Draconic eye look. And she kind of, looks away for a second and goes, I guess nothing was happening with them. And then flips a couple more pages.
still don't remember any of this. I mean, I remember the desert, but I don't remember. Oh, I'll look over their page. Huh. Nope. Nothing.
See, everyone gives me a hard time because I made a deal with the devil.
Yes, but you made it unknowingly.
Oh, yeah, they're good at that, getting you to, that whole like take one, it's free, and then when you take it, there's like a mile of conditions attached.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. Hey, what's this string?
It wasn't always that way, They used to have to tell the truth, which I suppose they still do, but they used to have to fully disclose everything before making a deal. I suppose tens of thousands of generations of devils sort of bred that out of themselves, finding loopholes, that kind of thing. Sad state of affairs, the Astral Sea. She put the book back. Not for nothing, but I think you're going to be in a bad way here soon if you don't get moving. At which point the ground just does give this like slight rumble, and from somewhere beyond those doors you hear a big weird swift roar somewhere. She goes, nasty business that. Well,
we've overstayed our welcome.
I'm sensing a pattern, really.
Are you?
People love when we come to see them.
Well, he said it, not me. Before I go, though, I just... Like I said, is there anything, if it were to fall into your path, that would help you?
A giant dead red dragon?
that would be terrifying, because knowing our luck could fall on us.
Oh. I think you guys have a great track record so far with the red dragons.
Well,
I mean, she asked.
I mean, any magical aid is always...
something to track down.
The real Wolf Swift and Mariano.
Something to track...
I think you already have
We already
that.
have a way to track her down.
It's just you can't tell the
Something
copies
to
from.
shut her up, though.
Oh, God, that'd be nice.
Ooh, is there like a potion that we could...
Potion of
Throw
ball
it.
gag.
No, to spellbind her or something?
I suppose somewhere in the cosmos there exists something.
Because we're going to have to find a way to get to her. Get close enough to her.
You might just try getting close to her.
Well, we know somewhat where she is. It's just a matter of finding her at whatever wall she's chained to, and...
Okay, well. I, just for my report, thought I would ask.
Do you have a cool nose piercing like what he has for me?
I suppose I could give you a nose piercing. But he's had that forever.
I know. I like playing with it sometimes.
Go
I
on.
pull it.
I suppose this is where I would make a joke about you two being a couple, but I sort of see everything around you, so I know that you're not.
Yeah.
It'd be an interesting dynamic.
No. No, it wouldn't.
Oh, God, no.
Always turns into things. Always murders things. Can end poorly.
Nope, especially if you guys go out and find a perfectly normal job. Which you would never, ever live down.
I don't want to.
Well, it would be nice if we had some way of tracking down Shannara.
I think you do. I just don't think your eyes can see that far.
I did see
if-
a great golden pillar the last time that we saw her.
And then it disappeared.
Yeah.
If she were still alive, I'm saying.
Yeah, that's not comforting.
Well, you never know.
Uh-huh.
Oh. I would get a move on if I were you, at which point the ground starts rumbling again.
All right.
And she says, I'm going to go make some apologies on behalf of me to those guys. At which point you look over her shoulder and there are still 4 gigantic elementals just glaring at you. She says, okay.
Well, thank you for all the help that you did not give us.
Certainly. I'll be on my way then. And when she turns, one of the straps on her bag kind of like pops open, and this little book pops out and hits the ground. And she walks over to those elementals and starts talking to them.
I'm going to try to pick it up and pull it by its corners to see if it opens as big as hers did.
No, it does not.
Rip.
Shunk. Oh.
I don't pull that hard.
No, it is a. If you've ever seen like a pocket guidebook, it's about that size. It's maybe twice the size of a deck of cards. And on the cover, it's got like this big sort of scratched in symbol. And when you open it up, it is basically a language guide for Draconic.
I'm going to say, who needs this? And throw it back over my shoulder.
Crap.
I could.
Probably hits you in the face.
I'll share, but if she's a dragon and she's following me, I think I need to understand what's going on.
Does Galdrien remember any Draconic?
No. Like you remember the sounds. It's a very guttural, raspy language, but you don't remember specific words or phrases.
Yeah, I used to know it.
I used to know it too.
Glocktong.
Didn't we pick up a thing that was in a language we couldn't read earlier?
Mm-hmm. The map stones
Yes, the map stones.
that Shinar or that
Suna has.
Suna.
Suna has.
I have it?
Yeah.
You have all this stuff.
Pull out the map stones.
Okay.
I just can't remember what it was this time around. I remember
Sure.
last time it was a letter.
Mm-hmm.
While we're looking at this, what do we want to do with the...
Yes, we should.
Maybe we look at this in a little bit.
Yes, we should. We should get a move on.
Well, if they're map stones, maybe it'll tell us where to go.
Yep, so you pull those map stones out, and remember, if you bring them closer, they start displaying this image in between them.
Oh, yeah.
And it's of the caldera. Go ahead and give me a good old intelligence check for anyone who wants to use this book to decipher.
Can I use my Forgotten Draconic Library with it?
You can.
All right. Intelligence, you say.
19.
Oh, it was almost 19.
That is a 22.
Okay. Anyone beat a 22?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, if I applied a background to it, I might be able to, but no.
Okay. So there were a couple of things that were written in Draconic on here.
Okay.
One of them is to the very far north. So if you look at the map on the wall there, so see where the river ends at the top?
Mm-hmm.
And then you go straight northeast of that,
My ear.
past
my ear.
past my ear, up north.
Past your ear.
Yep, past your ear. There is
The old dragon's lair?
there's one that says nesting grounds there. And then right dead center in the middle of the caldera, there is one that says resting place.
And I will share that info.
Okay.
Resting place.
So was
So-
that nesting, or the nesting ground, was that the same place as the cave that we were at?
No,
Okay, was somewhere.
the cave was down.
Okay, alright, just making sure.
That's the copper mine over there.
Yeah, the copper mine's over there.
And the cave is
Uh-huh.
way over there. Oh, right above,
Gamas.
yeah, it starts with a G, I
But
can't read
isn't
it.
that where one of the lines went? When you pulled out the compass?
I look at the compass.
So it has this like weird spotty yellow dot that kind of disappears and appears in different places. The red dot is to the almost directly north, slightly west of your location. So somewhere in there.
Possibly, we might know where Mardiana is now, but we should get moving.
Yeah.
Let's go to the elders and see if there's a way out of here that we can use. Perhaps draw the weird swifts away.
Yep. So when you look up, Random is not there anymore. Strangely, this time, you remember Random.
Pocket dimension, yay. Maybe.
We need to get going, and we need to draw these things away from these, from the civilians here.
The fire starts rumbling a little bit. Yes, I suppose.
Is there a way out of here that would allow us to draw them away without endangering everyone who's still taking shelter?
Here, and they point to the door. That is the only way out.
But as soon as we open that, we're going to have them set upon us again.
Can you keep them out?
Yes.
I guess the best way to draw them out is the old Iocus special. I'm the bait.
We
Running and charging?
could attempt to leave the city, but it will be most destructive.
There's not much left of the city as it is. If you can do it without endangering these people any more than they already have been, may be your best option.
The water elemental kind of, like it flows up and kind of does a barrel roll and twists down to you, so the head is looking at you upside down, and says, "We don't do subtle, if you haven't noticed."
Then we are going to be great friends.
Oh, as long as you're bringing dragons into our domain, I don't think so.
We are going to be fantastic allies.
So,
We have a common enemy.
I see it as one of two things happening.
Okay.
You either draw them away
Mm-hmm.
and allow us to make an escape.
Mm-hmm.
Likely, that will result in the destruction of the city.
Mm-hmm.
Or you destroy the cause of this problem while we remain here and safeguard.
I'm all about destroying the cause of the problem, because that was somewhat of our plan anyway. If we take away Wolf Swift's powers, maybe the weird Swifts go.
The sky says you'll do what?
Well,
She's been corrupted.
Find a way to shut her powers down. We don't know that yet. How exactly?
And how do you know that she's been corrupted?
Have you seen her?
Yes, but how do you know?
I have experience with the inheritors through a different world.
I see. Well, be that as it may, how do you plan on taking her powers then?
statue. It already has some of it.
Literally four gigantic elementals just narrow their eyes at you.
What she meant to say is, we don't have time for this. We have to leave now because they're already attacking. We're going to go out there. Y'all protect. If y'all don't hear from us by nightfall, then y'all leave and destroy the city. But we can't keep discussing this because they're already knocking down the doors.
Very well.
Hey, look! A distraction!
One of them kind of looks at the others. We'll say it's the water elemental, and he sort of burbles this sort of. If you were to try to talk underwater, it sounds like that. The earth elemental shrugs, and the fire elemental looks at you and says, "We had forged a few items for Nettles and his group, but as they are not coming back, I suppose it would serve you better."
We'll act as defenders for this moment. We would gladly accept those.
Very well. The fire elemental walks over to, or kind of floats over to Ardith, and just touches you on the forehead. And
she pushes back and forth like,
yeah, it burns at first,
Both were like, someone's touching me. No, thank you.
And then you feel kind of it like it burns at the center of your forehead and then all the way around. And those of you who are looking at Ardith, she's now got this. So imagine a very ornate silver headdress. Not headdress, crown is what I'm looking for. Circlet.
Yeah.
And it has a gigantic ruby in the center. And you now have a diadem of fiery wrath.
How fitting.
You're determined to get me Fireball, aren't you?
No.
You're wrathful.
I mean,
So
yes.
what happens to you if water touches you? Does it sizzle? Do you go out in that spot?
You asked that to the fire elemental,
Mhm.
who just looks at you.
That's considered rude where he comes from.
I've never seen one. How does it survive? Does it not rain here?
No.
Let's not interrupt them. We're about to get the doors knocked down. They're helping us.
But it's cool.
It is. Well, it's hot.
I mean, that too, yeah.
The skies start to darken up, and if you've ever seen a lightning strike about to happen, just the hairs on Galdrien's arms start standing up. And when that happens, he is struck by a bolt of lightning.
Zap, zap, bitches.
You now have some gloves of suffocation.
He's like, ooh.
No.
These gloves are very fancy. They are sort of a muted gray that has basically where all the seams are. It has golden stitches, and when you turn it, it's got a lot of like cloud imagery on it.
The real test, though, is can you still play while you have them on?
They do not they are skin tight. They don't obstruct your hands at all.
Your kid gloves.
Nice.
They actually don't feel like leather on the inside. It feels basically like you're wearing nothing.
Feels
Feels
like a
like
cloud.
Feels like I'm wearing nothing at all.
Stupid sexy Flanders.
Suna, that water elemental, draws up a bunch of water into itself and then just splashes down on you.
Hey!
And then
What was
drowned
that
fox.
for?
lifts you up into the air, kind of, just like hits and then curls back up. And the water starts spinning you around in this vortex, and it sets you down, and you are completely dry. Your what type of armor did you have on?
Just light.
Just some leather
Yeah.
type armor. Your robes.
Oh, light armor. Yep.
Yep. So now your robes, they are a little bit heavier, but basically, if you've ever seen cloth in water, like if you throw a shirt in the water, how it just kind of like floats and waves, and your armor, the robes do that now.
Oh, that's cool.
You now have some armor of healing waters.
Do you see this, Iocus? Look!
While you were describing that, all I could see, like you said, her doing a whirlpool, and all I can see is Suna going, wee! Like just this fox going down the whirlpool.
I just see her like spinning, starting to throw up, and the elemental being like, ew, and just dropping it. No, while she's doing that, she's like, do you see Iocus? And when you turn around, standing in front of you is that 20-foot tall earth elemental who just grabs you by the wrist and lifts you up. And he brings his face in real close to you, and like he has a very detailed, not particularly human face.
Yeah.
It's more, kind of round, like a caricature. And basically when he moves his eyes or his lips, there's just like grinding of stone and a little bit of dust. He's covered in moss. And he just takes your arms and like straightens them out so he's got a hold of you. And then he just drops you about 20 feet. When you land on the ground, you go to hit, and when you do, just these giant rocky protrusions, so like giant boulder fists, just hit the ground where your hands are, and then when you open your hands back up, they just shrink back into your skin. You have, so think like fingerless gloves, right?
Okay.
and they go all the way up to your elbows,
Okay.
and they just get thicker and more bracer-like,
Mm-hmm.
and they just have like this shaggy moss hanging off of them.
Ooh.
You now have earth-toothed shields as bracers.
Ooh.
Uh,
Thank you.
He kind of shrugs and says, "They weren't meant for you, but you'll do."
I appreciate it nonetheless.
And they sort of come together, look at you, and say, "We will protect them as long as we can. Get word back to us if you can."
Okay.
Listen for someone yelling loudly with a lute.
And aside, the quirk on this is fantastic. Just take bites or pieces out of things that you were supposed to just hold on to.
Thought it was fitting.
Yeah.
Galdrien's quirk for his item is he forgets to breathe sometimes.
All right, so are you guys planning on leaving?
Yeah.
All right, so that's where we'll cut it for this episode. Is these elementals sort of begrudgingly giving you magical items, and then telling you if you can't stop the problem, they're going to destroy the city to try and stop the problem. And so that's all I've got for tonight.
So when do the quirks?
So the quirks only come in when you have more magical items than your level.
What if you have equal to?
If you have equal to, it's fine.
Okay.
Um,
Say we're gonna have to start being more of a group if
So,
that's the case.
so having said that, let's, if you guys don't mind, for everybody listening, just give a brief recap of what your new item does, and we'll clarify where needed. So whomever wants to go first.
I'll go ahead and go first. Galdrien has the gloves of suffocation.
No breathing.
No breathing. Statistics. It has a +1 to save. +1 to saves when you have 10 HP or fewer, which has happened quite a few times.
Oh yeah.
Effect, recharge 16 plus. As a minor action, spend a recovery roll and roll your recovery dice, but don't heal. Instead, the next nearby creature targeted by an attack from you or one of your allies this battle takes that amount of cold damage, hit or miss. Considering I'm rolling 3d8 plus 2 for my recovery dice.
It tickles. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
enough to kill some of the enemies I've thrown at you recently.
Yeah, that's potentially a lot of cold damage.
Yeah.
Quirk is sometimes forgets to breathe and only starts choking once it is noticed.
Yeah, so Galdrien, if that quirk is triggered, you may and or may not forget to breathe for like days, and then suddenly someone reminds you of it and you start choking.
At least it's not on eels.
Oh, God.
All right, who's next?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I got a Diadem of Fiery Wrath. It gives a +1 to mental defense. And when equipped, select a monster of your choice and gain a +2 bonus to attack rolls, defenses, saves, and the crit range expands by 2 against that monster that's created by that monster. You can change the monster chosen when you level up. It's like specific monster types. The example given here is you can't pick dragons, but you can pick red dragons, which I think is a hint here.
I use what's relevant.
Uh-huh. The quirk for it is hold grudges longer than usual.
So normal Ardith.
Yeah, I mean,
Although she's an elf, so her quirk would be like 300 years later. She's like, that fucking guy, he cut me off in traffic.
I mean that's like you said, that's normal.
No, so far Ardith has been very like in the moment. So she's mad at people, and then once they're out of her sight or she has killed them, she kind of tends to like problem solve to move along.
I mean, just because she's an actor doesn't mean it's still not still there.
Oh yeah. All
She
right.
just wants people to leave her alone.
What's yours?
Me? Armor of Healing Waters. It gives me +1 AC. And then once a day, as a standard action, I can call upon all nearby allies to spend a recovery and roll the recovery dice. Then I take the total of all the dice rolled and split it amongst all nearby allies. And then my quirk is I become more eager to try new things.
I haven't killed you this way. Let me use this new killing implement.
I mean, it just sounds like Suna, only, worse.
So I have a question on mine. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good.
Can I wear it with the cloak
Yes,
still? Okay.
because one is a neck slot, one is a
Okay.
armor slot.
Okay. Sorry.
It's all good. I have the Earth 2 shields. It gives +1 attack and damage. And the effect is when you successfully intercept an enemy, you inflict your normal miss damage on them. And then the quirk is just take bites or pieces out of things that you are supposed to just hold on to.
Well, it's a good thing the cabbie's dead.
Can I see that for a second?
It wasn't me.
It wasn't me, and there's a perfect snout, just a snout-shaped bite out of it. Right, so you guys, as I tallied it up, should have 3 magic items apiece.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that's all I got. I think y'all made out pretty well, aside from being in a certain death situation. You finally got a rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it only took like 6 episodes to get a rest.
Would you call that arrested development?
No, I've kept your
True, we
leveling on schedule, I think.
When you gain more power in one day than you did in a week.
It's not our fault. Shit kept happening every time we show up.
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't even have time to do anything. We just showed up and things happened.
I ran a game once that amazed a player because his character was like 80 years old, and he was 80 years old in level 1. And within like 3 weeks, he became, level 4 or 5. So, lifetime of power is nothing compared to a few days adventuring. Actually, that's a pretty good catchphrase. Anyway, all right, that's all I got for this episode. So, thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see y'all next time.